now. Lucy, I really credit her for putting people from my neck of the woods on the map, because you've never heard of my town, Whitville, Virginia, but you'd know where it is, because an hour one way is where Andy Griffith was born. An hour the other way is where Ernie Ford was born. So she put Ernie Ford on the map when he was on their show, which I love. And then
I think that happened because my dad heard Ernie was doing a radio show. It was airing in LA, and that's how they put him, on the show because of that.
But Bent Fork, Tennessee was based on his hometown of Bristol, Tennessee, which is just an hour up the interstate from where I live. And an hour the other way is Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is Mayberry, North Carolina, which my family and I will travel to on Sunday. And at those Mayberry reunions, I made all these people who was on the Andy Griffith show, but they also knew Lucy because they were either on her show or they worked at Desilu, because Andy Griffith was a Desilu property, a Desilu production. And so it's wonderful.
And Ricky was on that show, right?
Yes. Yeah. My first podcast was a 2-part interview with Keith. Keith's a great guy. Very talented musician as well. But I did buy the repackaging of the DVDs, at the reduced price, and I have a brand new set now. So that's.
I'm pretty sure in that episode that year we found all the stuff that was edited out, and some of it was in pretty bad shape, so we couldn't edit it back into the show. But
right.
The DVDs have all the deleted material.
Very good. All right. So people are, I'm on all the Lucy Facebook groups, and I'm not necessarily behind this, but everybody's wanting to know: are they going to fully colorize all the episodes of I Love Lucy? Do you have any say so in that? Do you know anything about that?
I have no say so in it, and I don't have any inside information, but I suspect not, just because Lucy doesn't seem to be a priority for them at the moment.
Right.
I was able to prevail upon them to clear all the music for all the episodes, which resulted in them, instead of only having 102 episodes available for streaming, all of the episodes are now available at streaming.
Very good.
Which is great. But,
very good.
In terms of colorizing, they used to do that because they did a Christmas special every year, and they would do a colorized episode with the Christmas special. But they don't seem to want to do that anymore. I think it's more a matter of wanting CBS to be perceived as modern and hip. Right. It's just my use of that word indicates that I'm not. CBS, maybe I think thinks I Lucy is an old show, which is a shame.
That's very heartbreaking, because there'll never be another Lucy. Lucy will always be number one, and it's still like the most watched rerun show ever in the world. I mean, everybody. My daughter's 10 years old, and when I play a Lucy episode, she'll pull her hair back in a ponytail and get a magic marker out for a cigarette and mimic Lucy. 10 years old. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm just happy that you people can get it on Amazon Prime and through Paramount Plus and Paramount Plus and it's all this, and Pluto. You can watch it free on Pluto. Plus broadcast TV.
And one of the great things that we talked about last time was that I was able to see when they colorized 5 episodes and put it and released it on her birthday as a one-time event. In select theaters. We traveled to Bristol and we watched those 5 episodes in color, and it was a full house and people were laughing like they'd never seen it before. It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
I think they should do that again.
I would be there in a heartbeat. I mean,
you should start a petition to the company's called Marathon Events. No, Fathom.
Yeah, Fathom Events to bring it back. Events.
Yeah, tell them start a petition to get them to do another one, because there's 16 episodes. They could do 5 more episodes very easily.
And they don't even have to do them in color. I'm a purist. I like the black and white. Run some black and white episodes.
Yeah.
My favorite color is red, and I can just imagine. Everybody says that Lucy's hair was a kind of red that they don't make anymore, and I would just love to see the redness of her hair. Just to see if it really was that cherry red,
Yeah. Well, you can. Did you see the picture that I just posted of Lucy being made up for her Marilyn Monroe?
Right.
Event. Yes. And then next to that, I have Irma Koosley, her hairstylist, fixing up one of Lucy's wigs in 1996 for an exhibit at the San Francisco Airport.
Right, I did see that. Yeah,
and you can see the color of that wig is. I mean, that's the true color picture. So that's the hair color right there.
Was the color of the wig was the color of her hair?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
In fact, I think that she may have actually used some of Lucy's original henna hair coloring, which Irma still had in '96,
right,
and freshened up the color of that wig for the exhibit.
Which that kind of henna they don't make anymore, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have not researched.
Well, I have a friend of mine who's a hairdresser. I'm disabled. I'm wheelchair bound. So I have a friend of mine who comes to my house to do my haircut so that I don't have to come out. And I ask her, because she's been to cosmetology school, and there's a whole section of henna, and it started with Cleopatra. It was a vegetable, and it started with Cleopatra, and there's a section about Lucy's hair, and it's like you can't get Lucy's color because what she was using, they only use henna now in like temporary tattoos and things like that. And there are certain hair dyes that you can get that have an element of henna in them, but not to the level that Lucy used, if I am relaying that correctly. Yeah.
One of my favorite lines, it's on the CD.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with the book is when she goes for a driver's license. This is on the radio show,
right?
And he's asking her, age, weight, etc. And these eyes, and she says blue,
mm-hmm.
and he says thank you, and she says and red. What? And he says what? He says my hair is red. That's the next question, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. That's the next question, isn't it? My hair is red. Mm-hmm. And he says, naturally. And she says, well, a little henna rinse now.
Yeah. To be honest, I use a little henna. Yeah.
Now the guy who decided to color her hair red.
Sidney Gilroth. You bought his house, right? Your family bought his house.
My father bought, yeah.
Right.
My parents bought his house when I was born, and so that's the house I grew up in.
Yeah, Sidney Gilroth. Yeah, that's right. She went red, and I think Dewberry was a lady and never went back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about the future of Lucy, if they're doing any kind of special releases, but it sounds like they've kind of put Lucy to bed if they consider her to be outdated or old or whatever. So there's no really future projects for Lucy?
As far as the TV I was just talking about the TV network.
Right.
I don't know the people who run the internet aspects of CBS or Paramount, I guess. I know all new people may be coming in, so
right.
Who knows what's going to happen.
Right. But you were associated with CBS Home Entertainment when you were producing the DVDs, but you are no longer associated with them now at all, right?
No, I'm not associated with anybody.
Right. Very good.
I'm freelance.
Very good. Good for you.
I was sort of freelance at the time, but that's where I worked at CBS Television City, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, very, very much, I'm sure. Okay, and one more thing I just wanted to point out. You said in the last interviews that the Dick Van Dyke coupling of Dick Van Dyke and Rosemary and Moore Amsterdam was loosely based, Carl Reiner told you, on your father and Madeline and Bob. I think Madeline and Bob were geniuses too. They wrote a book together, and I read that one over and over too. I think there's so much brilliance within those three people. Did you have much interaction with Madeline and Bob?
Well, yeah, I knew them growing up.
Yeah,
because they used to come. They had a lot of writing sessions at our house.
Right.
A lot of the scripts were written at Sidney Gilroy's house, or our house.
That's amazing.
But I knew them all my life. And Madeline was just the nicest, sweetest person in the world, and very, very talented. I'm still mad at how she was portrayed in Being the Ricardos.
Yes. Horrible.
Because she was not like that at all.
No.
And Bob was very sharp, and also a nice guy. I mean, just the most soft-spoken, but really, very quick and very talented. And they obviously my dad had a relationship with them for a very long time.
Right. Right.
But the picture on the story about the picture on the cover of Madeline's book, where she's sitting in a chair,
girl writer,
chair,
yes,
that says Madeline Pugh, girl writer, and because that's what there were so few women writers in Hollywood at the time. Sometimes often they were referred to as girl writers.
Right.
And that's what it said on her chair, and with quotes around it. And but it's not explained in the book. But that would put that on the chair, but not because he called her a girl writer, but to make fun of it, because Bob Carroll's chair, the director's chair, said Bob Carroll, boy
writer.
Boy writer, in quotes. And my dad's chair said Jess Oppenheimer, quote, boy producer, unquote.
Very good. But coming back to Being the Ricardos, if I may, Linda Lavin portrayed Madeline Pugh, and she should know better. Madeline and Bob produced her show, right? Alice. Yeah. So she should know Madeline better than to portray her the way that she was portrayed. I thought it was.
Well, I don't know that Linda Lavin portrayed Madeline in a particular way, and John Rubenstein didn't portray my dad. I mean, the older versions of them were sort of benign.
Right.
The objectionable thing was what they did to the younger ones, the younger versions.
I see. Well, I agree with that as well. But just the Linda Lavin, the way Linda Lavin spoke, and she used a particular foul word that I don't think Madeline would have used. Well, enough of that. Let's see. Yeah, what I was wanting to tell you about Dick Van Dyke is the producer on that show, played by Richard Deacon. His name was Mel Cooley, and that's my last name, Cooley, and that's a very rare surname. So I tell people, that's my uncle. You know, that's my Uncle Mel. So I found it funny that they would be connected to somebody, and Carl Reiner chose the name Cooley, which is my name. So I'm curious I wonder how he arrived at that. If maybe he knew somebody that may have been a distant cousin way back when or something, you know.
I never asked Carl about that.
You just never know. So anyway. Well, I thank you for taking so much time with me, Gregg.
My pleasure.
You've been wonderful as always, and you know it's a great privilege for me to even have reached 1,000 columns. We're not even sure the paper was going to make it that long. Print journalism is so fading so fast, unfortunately, particularly in small towns. But to have made it to 1,000 columns and to be able to celebrate it with somebody as admired and respected as I admire and respect you is a great honor. And
well, I appreciate you, Zach. If you go to nextstagepress.com and you look up Lucy Loves Desi, you'll see that in the description of the play, your review is the one I quote.
You're serious?
Yeah.
I have been.
I don't think I have your name in there, but I just say that it has been called and put in quotes.
Well,
SWVA today.
Well, heck, put my name in there. Yeah, as I did that.
They won't let me.
They won't let you. Huh? Well, yeah, because SWVA today didn't send me out there to do it. I said I want to go see this play, but no, I'm honored that you quoted my review. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the review.
And I'm honored and I'm grateful for your accessibility over the last couple of years. In February of 2000, they did an article about me in the hometown newspaper. I was 14 years old, and almost 15, and I was waiting for your book to arrive when they did the story. And I said, I'm anxious to get this book. It's going to be signed by the son of the creator. They messed it up and said I was getting an I Love Lucy script. I was not. It had an I Love Lucy script in it, which is what I told them, but it was not, they got that wrong. And I also said one day I'd like to be a writer. And lo and behold, 5 years later, I end up being a columnist for that paper. And it's been 24 years from that now. I'm talking to the son of the creator of I Love Lucy about my 1,000th column. So it means a lot to me that you're here in this full circle moment for me.
I'm honored to be here on this occasion. I have to tell you the greatest headline I ever had for one of my personal appearances for the book was I was in San Francisco, so I went to I did an event at the Jewish Community Center where Dad had been in the little theater group, the center players, and San Francisco Chronicle, and it was a Sunday morning, and the San Francisco Chronicle ran an article. It was a picture of Lucy, and it said under her picture it said creator's son to appear Sunday. Okay.
the creator of Lucy.
They didn't say that.
Right. Just a picture of Lucy. Creator.
Well, it said the picture of Lucy Ball. And it said the book of Lucy. Creator's son to appear.
Oh my goodness.
Sunday.
Oh my goodness.
I had quite a turnout.
I'm sure.
Although the Jewish Community Center was not the right venue
for the book of. Oh my goodness. Shoo! Wow, that's the world of journalism for you. I remember one day I'd written a book about my me and my wife, and our love story. And that had been the headline before for that column, and it said a fairy tale love story. Well, the next column, my cat had died. So I was writing about the sadness of losing my cat and everything. And my boss forgot to change the headline. So it says a fairy tale love story, and the article's talking about a dead cat. So, that's the world of journalism for you. That's how it goes. But yeah, I've never let my boss forget that one. You didn't change the headline, so a fairy tale love story, and it's talking about a cat dying.
Okay.
But, all right, whatever. So anyhow, thank you for being a part of an integral part of my career by allowing me to have this interaction with you. What are your future projects since you are freelancing?
I'm hard at work on a second play.
With the Jack Benny?
The first play was basically the Lucy, the second part of the book.
Right.
And so this play is based on the first, which is his career in old-time radio.
Wonderful.
And it ends with Lucy and My Favorite Husband.
Can't wait to see it.
Just before the other play starts.
Great. Can't wait to see it. Please send me the notices and make sure it gets to my part of the country so I can go see it.
I have to finish writing it first.
Yeah. Well, tell them when you get it done. Tell them you got this old country boy down here that really needs to see it and give it a review, so they can send it to North Carolina again. I'll be there, or Virginia, or Tennessee, or any one of those.
Your lips to God's ears.
That's right. Amen. Well, thank you very, very much for your time. I've enjoyed it more than I can say. And God bless you and your family, and thank you for keeping the legacy alive.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.